Hello.
Hello. What's happening, internet? I said that because Ed just told me to say it.
It's the rule. If you're talking about video games on the internet, you have to start any YouTube or thing. Yeah. What's up, internet? It's your boy.
It's ya boy.
Yeah. And then.
But it's also
then their name.
Isn't it also in like an awful American accent?
Yeah, generally.
What is going on, guys?
Yeah, they're usually shouting, like, way too enthusiastically.
Yeah, I'm too tired to be that enthusiastic.
Which is why I like people like Bife, who does the Destiny videos, because he's very, very relaxed. Hello.
That's why I liked.
My name is, although he does have to say, my name is Bife, which sounds a bit stupid at the beginning of his videos.
That's brilliant.
The content's good.
There was a guild. A World of Warcraft guild called Tanksbot, who used to do all of the. They were like known for doing the raid guides, and their main tank had the deepest voice in the world. And every now and then, so their main priest, Aliena, I think her name was, used to do all the videos. And then every now and then, this guy would do it, and it would be like, "Hey guys, welcome to Tanksbot's guide to blah blah." It's like it was so good. It was like ASMR chill while learning raid tactics. It used to be really cool. We should. Oh, I don't think people can hear that. Just FYI, because the desktop audio is set to off. But okay, I nearly hit restart now. We don't want to do that. We want to snooze for 3 days.
No Windows update.
No Windows update. Okay.
It's the most inconvenient thing.
Pretty much.
Ever.
Hello. I'm Perry. This is Edward Guys Playing Games.
Yeah. I don't even get to introduce myself. Thanks.
Well,
I'm Ed.
Yeah, you're Ed. I could be worse. I could be Ed again.
Yeah.
That was good.
So that's my favourite part of this podcast so far.
Is me calling myself Ed.
Yeah. It was amazing.
But the thing is, it wasn't even like pre-planned. I just genuinely fucked up and believed that I was Ed, and I was like, I've been Ed, and you're like.
And if you watch the VOD back, Johnny's reaction to you saying it was amazing.
Best bit of that video, I think. Oh no, that was mean. No, that video was really good. That was a great video. Actually, I take that back. That was a really good video. What have you been playing? How are you?
I'm good.
That was 2 questions. Let me ask you one by one. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Well, I've been ill.
You've been really ill. We're a day behind. Apologies, internet. Well, we're a week and a day behind. But the week is my fault, and the day is his fault.
Well, it's kind of your fault. We did get together last Friday to do last week's podcast.
But I was drunk.
You were slightly drunk, and it was like, what, 9:30 by the time we...
Pretty much, yeah. I wasn't that drunk.
No, you weren't that drunk.
I wasn't that drunk.
You'd had some drink.
I had beverage.
But it was late, and it was like a Friday evening, and I think we were both just knackered,
yeah,
so we kind of came over and like, this is going to be terrible.
Didn't we just watch Hearthstone instead?
Oh yeah, we were watching...
Or was it Overwatch?
Yeah, the Blizzard. Yeah,
it was a Blizzard something.
It was a BlizzCon tournament and stuff. Yeah, it was Overwatch.
The Hearthstone tournament was actually really good.
Mm.
I watched all of that. Yeah, that was really cool. Like the Invitational.
Mm. Yeah, we'll talk about some of the announcements in a bit, because they announced quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah, they did. But first, tell me what you've been up to, what you've been playing.
I've been playing Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah, you have. I don't want to hear a lot about it, because I hear it's really good.
It is really good.
/ possibly the best Assassin's Creed game.
I hadn't really considered that, but yeah, maybe. It's definitely, so I mean, they took a year off last year, which was much needed, because they were definitely in a yearly groove, and it was becoming the same thing every year in a different setting.
Yeah, just a different skin / type.
Yeah, and it was kind of funny, because I played the first couple, like literally 1 and 2, but then I skipped the next couple, which was the other 2 in the Ezio trilogy, because I was like, I've done Ezio, like, there was the Italy ones. So they did Assassin's Creed 2.
And then it was Assassin's Creed.
They did Brotherhood.
And Unity. Is it Unity?
No, Unity was much later. It was like Revelations.
Something.
It'd be over there, Redemption.
We're really good at games.
So yeah, there was like three games. There was like a little mini trilogy featuring Ezio. So yeah, I played the first Assassin's Creed 2, but then skipped the next 2. And then I jumped back in with what was titled Assassin's Creed 3,
Black Flag.
which was 3. Black Flag was 4. Which is
That's what I mean. There's too many of them.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Because they did those other two Italy ones, the numbering is all off. So it's not number 3. It was like
number 6.
What are we?
5.
5.
7.
I don't know. Many. And there's been so many like spin-offs, like mini game, like the 2D scroller things. There was a trilogy of those in like China and
China.
Russia. Like the 2D, they were like the sort of the old Prince of Persia 2D like side scrollery type things.
They were great.
They were good games. But yeah, so yeah, there's been a lot of Assassin's Creed games, and so the funny thing about it was, so when Assassin's Creed first appeared, and then everyone was like speculating on time periods and stuff, I always said like, oh, they should totally do like Victorian London. So of course, a couple of years ago, they did Victorian London,
and you didn't play.
Didn't play.
Didn't even look at it.
I think it might have been because it was around the time Destiny 1 came out, so I kind of got consumed by that, and also by that point. Between Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, Unity that I skipped, and Syndicate, they were all basically the same game, apart from Black Flag, which was more piratey and more boaty. But yeah, the mission structures were very similar. You had all the mission types were the same in all the games. They weren't really doing much to change it up.
It was like
Last year they announced they're going to take a year off. They only announced this one officially at E3 this year, if I remember right.
Yeah, that's right.
I quite like that. The kind of short
Didn't
time between announce and release is a lot nicer.
Didn't they announce it along with a demo? They were like, "This is
what
we've been working on."
Yeah, they showed a gameplay. Yeah, they showed a gameplay demo at E3. I mean, you know, it's six months before it comes out, so.
Good job, yeah. Well done.
It's not EA, it's Ubisoft.
It's the same thing.
Kind of.
Same.
Anyway, yeah, so Assassin's Creed Origins. God, where to start?
At the beginning, please.
At the origins of this.
Set the scene for me.
So, as you probably know, unless you've been living under a rock in the desert, it's set in Egypt.
Oh no, I did know that.
Yeah.
I did know that.
Yeah, so in Egypt, which is already a plus because it's a very cool time period, and there's lots of cool Egypty things. You get to go to the pyramids and you can see the Sphinx, which is a lot smaller than you'd imagine it to be. And he even makes comment of it, which I thought, you kind of coming up on the Sphinx and you're like, fucking hell, it's tiny. And he goes, that's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. And like, damn right it is.
I wonder if that's like a design error from Ubisoft, and they've just written it in to be like.
I don't know. I don't see why you would make
Easter egg.
A lot smaller than it is.
Well, no,
maybe it is just
like,
a lot smaller than you expect in real life.
I think maybe it was like overlooked and they missed it until right at the end, and then they're like, "Well, people are going to comment, so let's just do it."
If you've seen the Sphinx in real life, let us know if it's quite small. I mean, it's not like the size of a sofa or anything. It's like house-sized, but you expect it to be much bigger.
It's giant, yeah.
No, from looking at photos. Anyway, yeah, time period's great. Yeah, the kind of the overall structure of the game has been changed quite dramatically. And the other, it's a lot more RPG now.
Yeah, so I got that from the E3 because they basically they showcased the equipment and stuff like that, didn't they? Like you can get different bows and different weapon armors.
Yeah, can you? Jesus, it's practically a loot game.
Like, oh really?
Yeah, like so you can in your talent trees you start off with one bow slot and one melee weapon slot, and then through the talent trees you can unlock an additional slot for each, so you can have 2 equipped at a time and switch between them, which is quite cool. And then on top of that you can have one of your what are dubbed tools, so like sleep dart, little fire bombs, stuff like that. So you can have one of those equipped as well. And then of course you have your Assassin's Blade, which you get during the story.
That's good.
And as the name suggests, it's the origins of the Assassins. So one of the things, and I've seen this mentioned in other reviews and stuff, one of the things that the other games in the series were getting bogged down with a lot was the whole Templars versus Assassins, blah blah blah, lots of lore on these two sides. None of that. absolutely none of it. It's fucking great. Because the two sides don't exist at this point.
This is like before that
Yeah.
entire period.
There's some really cool. So I actually finished the main story campaign today, and there's some cool little bits at the end, which is them kind of. It's not exactly spoilery, but it's them setting up the order, like the Assassin's Order, essentially.
They're setting up the next games, basically.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's just as the names of the game suggests, it's the origins of the Assassins. So yeah, that whole stupid Templar waffle is nowhere to be seen, which is great because it's kind of dull.
The worst bit of all of the games.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
The other thing that surprised me a bit was the modern world section. Like, so they always have their little modern world bit where every now and again you'll pop out of the animus and become a modern day person. So the little modern day storyline is incredibly brief. You probably come out maybe 2 or 3 times, and basically every time you come out, your next mission point is generally to get back in. Like, there's very little to do in the real world. There is a little bit to do, but it's very, very minor.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, again, not a bad thing. I think they kind of created this world, and let me tell you, the world is incredible, and it is huge, like huge. So
we're talking like Forza style of huge, like
way bigger.
Oh, really? Okay.
We're talking. Well, I'll come on to something in a minute, but yeah. So the world. So I finished the main story. The level cap. Again, coming back to the whole RPG angle, you now level up and you unlock abilities and stuff. The level cap is 40. I'm at level 39. I was slightly over leveled for the end of the story. There are in the world there are 8 regions that have a recommended level rating that hits the 40 cap. So there are 8 regions in the world that are at sort of
so you need
essentially end game.
They tell you to be max level before you go into these regions.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And so 7 of them I haven't even been in yet. So there's still 7 completely blacked out regions, plus a few others that I haven't been in. And I've uncovered a lot of the map. And I've done a lot of side quests. As I was saying to you before, I finished the main story, and with all the side quests that I've done to this point, I've completed 91 missions. And I have
good effort.
I still have 11 on my mission log, and there are more icons on the map that I haven't even picked up, and other regions that I haven't been in yet.
I would love to know how many there are like in total in the game.
A lot.
Yeah. Like boarding like 1,000 maybe.
No, it's not going to be that.
Oh, really?
No.
Like 8 regions. How many? And you've done like 100.
I think some of the regions I got left are a lot more deserty.
Oh, okay.
Let's say. So I think
Okay.
I think the regions I got left are a lot more sparse. I think you kind of hit the big population areas through the main story.
Okay.
I'd be surprised if there's another main city that I haven't uncovered. There's like smaller towns dotted around that will have like maybe 2 or 3 side quests and stuff. So there might be some other smaller towns and stuff. But certainly some of the 2 environments you go through like right at the end of the story mission, like just incredible. I think it was the Green Mountains area, and then Cyrene, which is the city you end up in right towards the end, is it's incredible. It's like the architecture and stuff, and yeah, it's a beautiful looking game, like from start to finish.
That's cool.
Yeah, so the one thing that struck me throughout playing it, and this covers probably quite a lot of the game, is that the designers, I think they spent a long time playing and looking at The Witcher 3. It feels
really
very similar in structure.
Okay.
And even so, the combat's been completely redone because again, in the previous AC games, the combat was a bit poo. It was basically it was all like all the guards would stand in a nice circle around you, and then you would stand in the middle and then hit counter repeatedly and stab people, and that was kind of it. Maybe a dodge out of the way every now and again. But yeah, so they've completely changed the combat system. Again, kind of similar to Witcher 3. You can lock onto enemies, and then you have like melee attacks, and you can charge melee attacks. You have heavy and light attacks that you can do, and yeah, you have dodge. You can have your smoke bomb moves and stuff, and you have parries. So the combat's a lot more fluid and a lot more kind of involved, and a lot more satisfying to take part in.
Good.
But of course, the combat is not what you go for an Assassin's Creed game. What you go for is assassinating people, and it's definitely been the highlight of the game for me. Is so there's all sorts of like outposts and garrisons and stuff throughout the world, and each one will have like one or more. I think the maximum I've seen is 3, like sort of captain / commander enemies that are highlighted with a little yellow crown above their level things. Oh yeah, and all the enemies and things in the game are fixed level. So if you go back to an earlier thing, like if I go back to like one of the starting zones now, I'll be just like one-shotting people, which is really nice. Like it kind of bugged me like there's been a real slew of like level like scaling stuff. Even to a point, Destiny, like you could be completely maxed out everything in Destiny, go into like a level 4 area and still get killed in 3 shots, and it's kind of annoying. So it's kind of nice that the stuff is fixed level and the areas are kind of fixed for the levels. What was I talking about? Yeah, the garrison stuff. Yeah, which brings me on to one of the best additions to the game. So you've always had like the eagle sight in the old games, where you just kind of kind of went into almost like a Matrix mode, where you can like see through walls and there's all these people. So that's kind of gone, and now you have your literal eagle. So Senu, your little eagle pal, who like
fly him up.
Yeah, so he like flies above, and he has like a perception rating, and he can pick out all the enemies and like where treasures are and stuff, and he like tags. Like when he sees something, he like tags them, and you can lock again through the skill trees. You can unlock additional abilities for him, so you can have it. So when he flies up, you can hit Y and he'll like dive and like pester an enemy. So you kind of do that, and he starts diving down. You kind of back out of his view, and then you can go into your view and then like sneak up and like stab him in the back or whatever you want to do, or just sneak past or whatever. But yeah, the whole eagle thing. So this kind of sandbox thing of like all these garrisons where you can kind of turn up, hide in a bush somewhere, ping your eagle into the air, scout it all out, like find out where everyone is, where the treasures are, and then kind of just sneak round and take people out, and like I'm loving my predator bow. There's 4 different types of bows: hunter, predator, warrior, and light. So light is you kind of have a number of arrows. It's got a weird kind of way of holding like multiple arrows, so it fires really quickly. So you can just like ping off arrows like super fast. But obviously, it's quite weak. The warrior bows, you literally fires multiple arrows at once. So it's like you get a sort of spread. They're the 2 bows that I haven't been using. I've been favouring the hunter and the predator. So the hunter one is it's basically sort of charged shots. You kind of aim it and then hold down, and it kind of tensions it more, and it does more damage. It's cool. So if you hold, when you're aiming a bow over an enemy, it will show you how much damage on the health bar it's going to do, and then as you do the tensioning, obviously that goes up, and then quite often you hold it over their head, and it will be like the full bar, so you're going to get a one-shot kill. And then the other bow, the predator bow, is more of it's kind of like a sniper bow. It's a point and release. They tend to do the most damage, and they've got longer range. And again, it has an ability on your talent tree. There's an ability you can unlock where once you fire it, if you hold the fire button down, you go into like arrow mode, and you can like drive the arrow around. There's actually an achievement for using that the sort of arrow point of view, and getting a kill over like 60 meters away or something, which is quite cool.
That's quite good. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, so it's quite nice to get there's all the different bows. So yeah, it's the whole sandbox assassin-y thing they've like really nailed, and I've enjoyed. I will continue. I intend to do as many side quests and like locations and stuff as I can.
Yeah.
take.
So it is more of a stealth assassin game rather
Yeah.
than a sprint through the city as fast as you can.
I mean, you kind of say that, but I did when I first started playing it. I did watch a couple of streamers playing, and they were just going ham with like the big heavy axes and
Yeah.
stuff. Like there's one guy I was watching. I can't remember who it was now, but yeah, he'd literally just run into a garrison with a massive axe and just start hacking at people, like whatever.
Well, everyone has their own method.
And like some of the bigger garrisons, again, like the garrisons come in 3 flavors. It's like 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to call them star, but on the map they appear as little spears. So 1, 2, and 3 spear garrisons. The 3 spear ones are enormous, like seriously massive. They span huge areas in their kind of regions, and they are very largely sized. And present, it's again a lot of sneaking around can be done, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I guess you can tell I've been enjoying this game a lot, and I can talk about it a lot. The last thing I'm going to mention, which is actually there's another couple of things I can mention. there's a lot in it. This is the cool thing though. There's a lot to do in this game.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that happens quite early on, once you do one of your like main mission assassin-y things, it triggers these guys called Phylax, who are like bounty hunters, super hard bounty hunters, and they appear in like a bunch of different regions. So when you're on the like world map, they're highlighted as little red kind of helmet icons, and as you're running around, if you're in the same region as them, they're like trying to track you down, and they're like super hard like mini world bosses, which are kind of fun. And if you get like detected in a garrison and they send the alarm, they'll like come to the garrison from wherever,
That's cool.
wherever they
I
are.
like that.
And yeah, so
have you killed it?
I killed 2. Yeah, so the first time you kill one, you then get a quest to kill all of them. But like, I think the last 2 are both level 40, and they sometimes like cross paths, so that you have to be careful that you're not fighting both of them at the same time.
Nice.
It can get a bit hairy.
Yeah.
But there's like a bunch of like little side things. There's 2 cities that have like gladiatorial arenas. So there's a bunch of stuff you can do in them. There's like obviously progressively harder challenges in those, and then there's Hippodrome where you can do chariot racing as well.
Oh, cool.
And they've just launched another thing this week, which is Trials of the Gods, which I think the recommended level is 40, so you have to be max level, or it's recommended you're max level. So I haven't quite dared to do it yet. So I've just hit 39, but apparently there's going to be, I think it's weekly, they're going to like rotate. So this week's is the like Trial of Anubis. So you go in, and I think if you beat it, you get like an armor piece that you need to get all the pieces to complete a special armor set.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah,
I like that. It's interesting because we're talking about a main platform game, like, but they're doing updates to it, which is really cool. Yeah. I like the idea of that.
And one thing that I really like Ubisoft for doing, and they've tried. This is something they've tried to do in other games like Watch Dogs. Is this kind of, it's a single player game, but having online elements pop up. Like, so in Watch Dogs, you'd have other hackers like try and invade your game. They just randomly appear in your world if you're connected, like if you're online. So in this one, they've got a couple of things. They've got a photo mode, which doesn't sound that exciting, but other people's photos appear on your world map, so you can look at them and like them and stuff. Some of them are really, really fucking impressive. Some people are getting some really nice shots
like
out
in
of this.
game.
Yeah, you can literally at any point you can. I think you click both thumbsticks and it will just freeze the game at any moment. So it could be mid combat. It could be like jumping off the top of like one of the tallest towers. Like you just freeze it, and you can spin the camera around. There's some light effects and stuff. There's some filters and things you can ping on. And yeah, you can do these nice shots, and there's some really cool stuff. They have a photo of the day, so on the world map, one of them will be highlighted. which is kind of cool. Yeah,
Good little interaction, I suppose.
yeah, and so your photos will start popping up on other people's world maps. And the other thing, which is a bit more in-game, is you'll see these little turquoise diamond things pop up on your map with a skull in them. If you go and investigate them, it's a dead player. So it's where somebody else has died in their game, and then you inspect them, and it's like you must avenge their death, and it will tag the enemies that were involved in killing that person.
And so you get like a little mini quest to avenge.
So I've done a bunch of those. They're quite fun. Obviously, they kind of tend to pop up in garrisons and whatever.
That's really cool.
So yeah, it's that kind of like. It's not like, I mean, it's slightly immersion breaking when it's like avenge the death of Lord Squishy, ask the XX742. So it's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that nice cross pollination of
micro multiplayer.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real interaction with the people, but it's kind of giving you the impression of this larger world. I guess.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I could probably go on talking about this game. Like, I've really enjoyed it. The story in particular, like the main character Bayek is really great. The main storyline is really cool. There's some pretty horrendous stuff that happens. I'm not gonna lie. I was quite surprised at the kind of the tone of some of it. It's pretty full on. But I kind of at the same time applaud them for that, because it's kind of, I think it's some stuff that is probably right for the era and like things like that, and it kind of makes sense in that respect. It's been very enjoyable.
Good. I'm not gonna lie, there's something that you haven't mentioned that I thought was going to be like your top number one thing you were going to tell me about.
Is that the camels?
Yeah, riding camels.
Yes, I do have a camel.
When you discovered it, I got a message from you on Facebook with a picture of the camel, and you were like, "Motherfucking camels, Perry!"
Yeah, I got my camel mount pretty early.
Nice. Good job.
I haven't got a legendary camel mount yet. I need to buy one of those.
You need to up your game.
Yeah, that's see another cool little thing. So this ties into the whole kind of loot game. They're quite. My kind of inventory is fairly full of like legendary gear. It's not that hard to come across. There's like little puzzles and stuff. You get in these papyrus puzzles where it's like it gives you a little written clue. It's like the little treasure hunts, and they reward you with legendary gear, and you randomly get stuff from side quests and things. So whenever you get gear, it will drop at your current level. So there's some legendary gear you get, like say near the start of the game even. But obviously as you're leveling up, it becomes weaker and weaker. So, but all your gear can be upgraded at blacksmiths. And whenever you do that upgrade, it'll bring it up to whatever your current level is.
So you can keep the gear that you like, basically.
Yeah. So if you find like a nice sword or a nice bow or whatever, you can keep leveling up. My only problem with it was a little bit that the currency is kind of hard to come by. Like, I found myself swapping pieces of gear out just because I can't afford to like level them up. So that I found that a bit weird. I thought, I don't know, maybe I just haven't really focused on that side of it, because you can. One of the things that your eagle can do is spot like soldiers and stuff who are wandering around with like larger amounts of currency, so you can go and like nab them. I haven't even thought about crafting. There's like a whole crafting system, so you can upgrade your armor. So it basically does your health, your ranged and melee damage, and like you upgrade your assassin's blade to do more damage and stuff like that. You do that by getting crafting material like leather, hard leather, or steel, like iron ore and stuff, which you find out in the world. You can like hunt animals and stuff. Crocodiles are a lot of fun. Another ability you can unlock in the talent trees is the pet tamer ability. Set any of the animals in the world, you ping them with a sleep dart, and then you can run over, hit a button, tame them. So running around Memphis with a large crocodile in tow was a lot of fun.
Nice. That sounds good. I like stuff like that. Yeah. Like, to me, that's what makes an RPG. Like being able to do stuff like that. Like, I think that's why Zelda Breath of the Wild like appealed to me so much, because it's just open and you can do anything. You can go anywhere. You can you know.
They've made a great sandbox in a really great kind of setting. Towards the end of the story, I really thought they were setting it up for the sequel, but now I'm not so sure if it's what I expect it to be. I'm not sure if there's going to be a direct follow-on or not.
Okay.
They do it in such a way that there could be.
It's ambiguous.
It's not ambiguous, but like this storyline as such is wrapped up, but the way it finishes, it could continue down a certain path. Like I can't say too much without obviously spoiling major parts of the ending. So there is a route that they could go down to like directly follow on from this one, which I'd be interested to see if they do or not. Because I think it's a decent cast of characters, although yeah, again I can't really say too much. I'm not sure who would be involved in the next one or not.
Okay.
Yeah, I should stop.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop talking about it because yeah, it's really good. It's basically you could almost go as far as say it's Witcher 3 with parkour and assassin and more stealthy stuff.
I like that. That's good.
I mean, I obviously hold Witcher 3 in very high regard. I think it's one of the best RPGs of all time. So the fact that they've come
Quite
even
close.
even remotely
yeah.
close to kind of it is
It's
very
impressive to say the least. Yeah.
And the fact that they've taken a more RPG kind of almost looter game approach to it, but also kept the core aspects that make it an Assassin's Creed game. So at no point does it not feel like an Assassin's Creed game, but you've got all these other systems kind of surrounding it now that make for a better experience. I think they were right to take a year off, and yeah, they've come back really strong. And yeah,
So you rate it highly.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. Well, we needed that in an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, I'm glad they kind of reevaluated it and kind of took some time to go, okay, we need to mix this up a bit.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job, Ubisoft.
Yeah. So what have you been playing?
I was waiting for the
I
question.
don't know how long I've been talking for.
You've been talking for 32 minutes.
Well, there we go.
So I'll keep this short and brief. I've been playing Destiny 2.
You've been doing some raiding.
I'm doing some raiding, yeah. And it was the reason that we skipped a month. And we skipped a week because
Yeah.
we were supposed to record on the Wednesday, but that was when the raid was released.
PC raiding.
The PC raid, yeah. So we started that, and because we were all shit, we didn't finish it. So we wanted to complete it on the Thursday. That's when we were supposed to do our recording, but we didn't because I was raiding again.
Yeah. And then we just both got shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
We decided to sack it off. For this
Yeah,
week.
it's good though. I've honestly really enjoyed it. So I started my hunter. I played until like 4 a.m. So the release was absolutely great because it released at 6 p.m. in
6
every
p.m.
country, so it was staggered. So
Okay.
there were like countries coming online around the time zones, which it worked so well. Like it was almost seamless. The only point that I had a problem was like when I first tried to hit play, and the game loaded, and it took maybe 3 minutes for me to log in because there was a little queue.
Yeah.
That was it.
That's
And
not so
then
bad.
I made my character, I cracked on, and it was genuinely amazing. Like the story missions were just great. I enjoyed absolutely every story mission.
Hang on, didn't we talk about Destiny 2 already? I thought we were talking about the raid.
We're not talking about me playing Destiny 2.
Yeah, we have.
No, we haven't.
I'm sure we have.
No, because that would have been last week's episode.
No, is it? Have we not? I really feel like we did.
Maybe we did. See, this is the problem. This is the problem. I took a week off work, right, and I lost periods of my life. Like there are points of my life that were gone. Like, and I think you're right. I think we did talk about Destiny. Okay, all right. So I'm just going to skip that bit then. And I'm just going to talk about the raid, which
I thought you were talking about the raid, which also launched at 6 o'clock.
Also launched. No, it didn't.
Didn't it?
No, the raid launched. The raid was just there on login
Oh, okay.
on Wednesday.
No, but I'm sure it didn't unlock until 6 p.m.
Maybe, I don't know, because I was at work, so I wouldn't have noticed.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, it was, it was a good encounter. So I'm going to talk about the underbelly in a minute because the underbelly needs an episode all to itself because fuck that place. But also, so we completed. So what was the rotation on the first week? It was.
I think he had the same rotation as...
Yeah, the baths, then dogs, then gauntlet, then callus.
That's the same as when it launched on console, yeah.
Yeah, so I enjoyed all of the fights. Like, literally all of them were great. I think my favourite is the dogs. Actually, no, that's a lie. My favourite is the gauntlet because
The gauntlet
that is
does
just...
a lot of fun.
It's just so much fun.
I have to admit, I haven't actually played it myself.
You've not done the raid?
I've watched a lot of people play it, so I know...
You need to fix that.
I know all the fights.
You need to fix that quickly.
But yeah, I haven't played it myself.
The gauntlet is genuinely amazing. So
It does look really cool.
I'm one of the orb runners, and it is so much fun. Like me and the other runner, so it got to the point where we wiped so much in day one that me and the other runner were just racing by the end of it. Like we were like, alright, cool, race you, like so you can get around it first and then into the middle to slam the orb. Like yeah, that was cool. The Callus fight was a little bit underwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. It was just It was just one phase, rinse, repeat. Like, well, no, it's just 2 phases, rinse, repeat. You got the phase to get the damage buff, then the damage phase, then rinse, repeat.
Doesn't he change at some point?
Yeah, but he only changes his attack style. Like
yeah,
it doesn't. None of the mechanics of the fight change. It's kind of instead of him raising his hand to block the platform, he just shoots it with a beam. Like it's the same. The little twist I thought was quite cool. Where because we can obviously talk about it.
I think we can talk about it.
Yeah, fuck everyone. Of course we can talk about it.
Yeah, so at the end...
Spoilers ahead,
yeah.
for those of you that don't know and don't want to hear.
If you haven't done the Destiny raid yet on any platform, and you don't want to know what happens at the end, because there is a bit of a twist.
Mute for the next 20 seconds.
Yeah, maybe turn off now.
Yeah, so the fact that he's like a robot is quite cool.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that. And then and as you go through, you're running towards the loot chest and you just see like thousands of different colour suits.
Yeah, all these robots that he's made of himself.
Yeah.
So obviously I imagine he's going to pop back up at some point, maybe in his real form, maybe as another robot. Who knows? But yeah, I thought that was really nice. So they're watching the guys do world's first on console, and then sort of going like, no, he's like a big robot. That's weird. And then dropping down the hole and going, oh shit, there's a lot.
There are thousands of them. Yeah,
there's loads of them.
Yeah, that was really cool. The one negative thing I have to say about it is it is super puzzle based.
Yes, it is.
It is so puzzle based.
I mean, apart from the final fight, it is entirely puzzle based.
Yeah, the final fight is literally the only fight that you have. The rest of it is just puzzles.
I mean, and you fight the dogs.
No, because they don't attack you back. You just kill them.
Don't they?
No, you get the buff. They stand there howling at the orb, howling at the pods, and you just kill them. That's literally it. But part of me didn't mind because I like that sort of puzzle game. It was good. But you get to the point where you're like, okay, well it's not this, so what could it be? Because none of us obviously looked at the tactics. We went in blind, and we were like. Also, the first 2 fights as well, I literally called all of the mechanics. Absolutely all of them. I was just like, we walked into the dog's room and I was just like, so what are these fucking prisms? Oh, okay. If you stand in the light, you can shoot a beam. Oh, okay. So what are these orbs? Oh, alright, okay. So we pick up the orbs, we go to the pods to shoot the beams. Alright, yeah, cool. that was really a really easy thing to pick up. The one thing we did have to look up was...
I remember you saying you looked up something about how many skulls you needed.
Yeah, we looked up the Callus fight because we were we knew we were doing something wrong, and basically what we were missing was the we caught the symbols on his head, but we didn't realise that we had to kill the other symbols
the one
outside.
That was missing.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was the one thing we were missing. So we got that, and then we found that the barriers were remaining as we were getting pushed down, which made sense. And then I think the first time we ever did it without sort of finding out how many stacks we needed, we got to 86, and
that's pretty good.
Yeah, and we did half the boss's damage. The one thing about that fight that's really annoying is your ammo is so sparse. You just have no ammo. Yeah, you use up all the especially if you're in the phase group where you're in doing the skulls, you come out and you're like, oh, that's great. Now I've got no fucking ammo to kill the boss. Like that, you have to like do a little run, kill some dogs, get your ammo, and then jump on a platform and then start doing damage. Like it's kind of a bit annoying, but yeah, I mean, overall, I do rate the raid. It was probably one of my favourite raids. I think I like Oryx better because I played it so much. Like
yeah, like King's Fall definitely stands out for me.
War Priest was like my favourite fight ever.
Really?
Yeah, I really like the mechanic of having to like jump onto the platform and do the sequence. Like I thought that was a good thing.
I mean, the Oryx, yeah, as I say, like the Oryx fight, I thought was really good. Yeah, with all
and
the
Gorgoroth as well, the one that you
Yeah.
have to like aim him at you so other people can shoot his back.
Mhm.
Like that was really cool. But yeah, it was really good. It took us 2 days to complete it. We completed it almost like 90% blind, and then
It's pretty cool.
there was the underbelly. Like, if it's not bad enough that you're having to do all these fucking different puzzles for the bosses, you then have to figure out, like, whoever mapped the underbelly, hats off to you, sir, because
There's some pretty good
that must have,
maps.
that must have taken you out. Well, the only reason we managed to figure out where all the fucking different chests are was because Chip gave us a map. And he was just like,
Yeah.
this is a map, this is how we get to each place. Like,
I've seen a couple of
it
really
was
nice like
ridiculous.
3D
Yeah.
maps that the community.
It was
has created.
absolutely ridiculous. Like, and I'm all for secret chests. I am. I like secret chests. Like, in fact, the King's Hall raid achieved it perfectly. Like, there were a couple of secret chests that
Yeah, there's the
you wouldn't even
Gorgoroth's maze.
you wouldn't even have known unless you just fucked around for a little bit. But this is like another level. It's like you have to. The person who mapped this must have had to walk around this place for hours and hours and hours trying different things, like loading in and loading out, and like it's nuts. Like, but yeah, the system where you get a key from the bosses and then you can go find the chest and unlock it. Not a massive fan of. I would rather they were just secret chests and they'd maybe execute it a bit better. Like not have had so many. Like there were like 8, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah,
actually.
there are a bunch. Like if not so many, but made them harder to find or harder to execute to get to. Like that would have been better, I think. But yeah, I like now the concept of the underbelly as like a mechanic for skipping the courtyard. I love because that's great. Like the fact that like have you seen the record for the fastest raid?
I haven't seen the record.
It's 20 minutes and 39 seconds.
What?
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's
they,
quick.
Yeah, they literally like they use the underbelly. They unlock this.
Yeah.
Go in first boss, second boss. Like, but like the way they're doing it as well is fucking dumb. Like they one phase Callus. They one phase the dogs because they get 108 stacks. Yeah, like it's dumb. Like that's like 8 orbs. Like it's nuts. We managed to get 4 at a push. Like, although saying that, I think I've figured out a tactic / mechanic to be able to get more quickly. But yeah. So I'm not a massive fan of
The underbelly.
the underbelly. Like I
I liked it for the fact that it's kind of like its own patrol zone under
it
the
is.
raid.
It is. Yeah.
Like you don't have to like go into the raid area. You can just load into the raid and then just go run around in the underbelly.
Yeah.
That is kind of cool.
It is. I like it as I said. I like it as a means to get to the different bosses quickly.
Mhm.
Like I think it works perfectly for that. But like the amount of secrets and stuff and criteria for getting the chests and all that sort of stuff. Like I'm not a massive fan of. Like killing all of the watchers at once
Yeah.
before they trigger an alarm. Like
When the raid first launched, on the weekly reset, you would lose any unused keys as well.
really,
Yeah.
wow. So I got 4 keys from the first raid.
They have changed that now.
Yeah, I mean I've got like well, I know they have because I've got like 6 keys in my inventory that I've just not used yet. Like
Yeah.
because that's the other fucking annoying thing. Is like for you to loot the same chest multiple times, you have to loot the chest, go out of the raid, go back into the raid, loot the chest. You know,
Can you not go out of the room and does it not reset when you go out of the
no,
room?
you have to reload the raid. It's like so
Yeah.
we all went round. Got like I think we got the first chest and we were like, cool. No, do we just go out and do the raid again and get the next key, like the same chest again, or do we just finish this round of keys and we're like, oh fuck it, let's just do the rest of the keys that we've got and we'll come back at another time, like because it takes a while to get around the underbelly, like to get all the chests.
Yeah, so it's a big place.
Yeah,
As you
I
say,
think
it's very easy to get lost there.
it would have been better if you if the key system was different, if you could keep your keys, but you never got the same key twice, like the bosses would give you different keys. Because I mean, like there are 9 chests and 4 bosses. Like you could do that. You could keep your keys for 2 weeks and then go cash them all in one run. Like I think that would have been better. But
how do you feel about the amount of loot you get? Because I know there's a bunch of guys in our clan who think that it's a bit stingy on the loot side. There's not a lot of stuff that drops
specifically in the raid.
Yeah, and there's not much that drops in the raid itself.
I think both weeks now I've only had 1 item from the raid, and then I've had like an engram. I've like had like 1 or 2 engrams drop. Well, no, actually, I think 1 engram and 1 item from the raid, and then the tokens which I can cash in for the raid item
with the secret emissary.
The secret emissary,
Superbot.
yeah, Superbot. I
Evil
do like that.
Superbot.
That was really cool. I'm not gonna lie. And the quest for the
shotgun.
The shotgun.
The shotgun's really
the
nice.
shotgun is dirty.
It's pretty.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I was watching Gigs. He's one of the top like PvPers. He was running trials last weekend, and he
was using the shotgun in trials.
Oh, it was disgusting, like properly disgusting. Like the range, because it seems to have quite significant range on it. Because it only has 1 round in the barrel, but I think the range on it is enough that. Yeah, I mean he was wrecking teams with it. It was disgusting.
I've not been able to figure out how to utilise the range. Like I can only kill stuff if I'm like in its face. I don't know if I'm aiming wrong or I don't know.
I don't know because there's another quest step to like improve it.
So that's what I'm doing now. We have to.
You have to run.
We have to run the raid twice again. So come on, why? You maybe do the raid to get this fucking shotgun
again. That. When the raid first dropped, you had to. The second step of that was something like you had to get 100 tokens to unlock the next phase of the shotgun.
100 tokens.
Yeah.
It's 10 now. It's legit 10.
Yeah.
But no, wait. But didn't you get like 10 to 15 tokens per boss fight?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure you did because
I remember some streamers were basically mainlining the raid to get the next step. They were just running it over and over again.
I've seen a video of someone getting 13 seals in one loot, like off of one boss.
Yeah, I mean,
so I think
you're still gonna have to run it a lot.
But yeah, it's still an unreasonable amount. Like
yeah, it was 100.
I would have preferred another hard quest because the quest for it was great. It was do the arms dealer strike, but on like nightfall difficulty, and that was great. It was super challenging. It was super rewarding. Like that was awesome. Give me more content like that because that content is great. Like that challenges the player, not repeating them, making them repeat the same content.
One thing that seems to be missing from D2 is quests for exotics.
Really? There are 4.
I mean, you say that like it's a good thing. Like, but that doesn't.
Now, one of the things I don't like is the fact that the murder tool is available to everyone. However, they have nerfed it, so it's fine.
Have they?
Yeah, it doesn't. You can't just 2-tap people anymore. It's like 5.
Oh, you mean in this version of the game?
Oh yeah, in
from D1.
From D1, yeah.
I thought you meant it been like.
Oh no.
I mean, yeah, it's. I mean, as far as I'm aware, it is still the go-to PvP weapon at the moment.
Hand cannons are the way. Are the thing.
You see, this is where things differ on platform. On PC, hand cannons are the way. Console, hand cannons are fucking useless.
Because aiming is hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I think the reason the Mida is so popular is because, as far as I'm aware, it's the only weapon in the game that has third eye.
Yeah.
And
true.
In PvP, with the radar cooldown on the in-down sights, that is a massive advantage.
Yeah, it's huge. Unless you're actually using third eye. Like the hunter helmet.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, that's yeah.
So I run in PvP. I run the hunter helmet third eye.
Yeah, see, I'm a warlock, so I don't have that luxury.
Shut up! You're a warlock. Warlocks are so broken in PvP. Like
Void call it devour warlock.
It's stupid. So they've like taken that bullshit overshield from Titans. They're like, oh, you punch someone, you instantly get an overshield. oh, that's overpowered. You know what? We'll remove that. But let's give it to Warlocks instead. Fuck off, Destiny. Like, do you know how annoying it is?
Warlocks had the Sunsingers in D1 had the Flame Shield, which was a shield on melee.
What's your point? That's still bullshit.
At least they can't self-res anymore.
You can't 1v1 a Warlock because if it gets to a point where they can 1v1 you because you're shit.
Well, yeah.
But like if it gets to a point where you're in a melee fight with them, they'll just punch you and heal themselves again and again and again. It's like what am I supposed to do with this? It's dumb. And the fact that
what class of Warlock?
I don't know what spec. I don't know what spec, but apparently, like they punch you, they get an overshield. Not broken at all. And the fact as well that you can be like you can have a snipe battle with a Warlock. They'll just drop a healing rift, step out of it, shoot you a few times, step in, full health, step back out, and shoot you a few times. It's like what?
Yeah, healing rift.
So dumb. Anyway, that's my little bitch session. I must admit, actually, I am fabled for hating PvP in Destiny.
Very much so. To the point where I would make you play it just so I could laugh at you raging about how much you hated it.
It is known that I detest PvP. However, in this game, I've not minded it. Like, I've done my PvP milestones every week because it's actually not that.
Yeah, you have to play like 4 or 5.
You're not getting like one tapped by shotguns or minor tools anymore, so it's not as frustrating. Like when I die, it's because someone has killed me because they're better than me. Or
you've been team shot. That's the main thing. It's all about team shooting.
Team shooting?
As in, you're getting hit by multiple people.
Oh yeah. You're being like
you cannot lone wolf in the 4v4 because if you get caught out, then you're just dead.
Yeah,
you can't 2v1.
Yeah, it takes the other team to be significantly bad to not be able to 2v1 you. Yeah, like they have to literally miss you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, overall, the PvP aspect of it is quite good. Like, I'm not okay with there being a meta, but then it's PvP. There's always going to be a meta.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
I accept it. I'm happy that the meta is not mine at all constantly now. Like you even see people running SMGs and sidearms and stuff, which is quite cool.
Yeah, I mean, there is. It does feel. I mean, having said that, mode is quite prevalent on console. It does actually feel now that you can actually run almost whatever loadout you like, you feel comfortable with, and do right. Like you can run assault rifles, you can run.
Yeah, I mean, on PC, assault rifles are almost the second best because you can adjust the recoil so easily. And you can just chain damage into an enemy. I must admit, they're only really good mid range because if you hit that long range period, like they just don't do the damage. The damage falls off too much, and then you're just scratching away at the shield as it's regenning back. It's like oh, that's just fucking pointless. But yeah. That's my opinion of the raid. It's not bad. I'm looking forward to more content now. Well, actually, one thing I've heard, you might be able to confirm this for me. Now, is it true that you cannot loot the normal mode raid and the prestige raid in 1 week?
I don't know. I haven't played it.
Because this is what I've heard, and if that's true, that's really fucking annoying. And also, I've heard that the prestige.
Because in D1, it was always the case that if you did prestige, in D1, if you did hard mode, you would get the rewards from the normal one at the same time.
Yes, exactly. That's not the case now. Okay. And I've been told as well that the rewards from prestige aren't power level different. They still roll a similar power level to you. However, they're different skins and different looks.
Yeah, it's the same gear with a different colour. Yeah, it's no different. There doesn't seem to be. There's an emblem for completing the prestige.
Fuck's the point? Why put a prestige mode in it if the rewards you get aren't better than the normal mode?
You and the rest of Reddit have been asking that very same question. A lot of people are unhappy about the reskins because that's happened with the factions. All the faction weapons are reskins of existing.
While I'm on the fucking topic, the other thing that's really annoyed me as well is you don't get rewarded for completing your trials card. You have to win it. Like, you have to get your 7 wins to get your trials reward.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do.
There's stages. There's different stages of reward.
What are the stages?
Like I think 1 win, you get to go to the place.
You get to go to the tower.
I think 3 wins, you get the first reward. I think it's 3, 5, 7 because there's different there's like the little floaty grav lift. If you get 3 wins, it will float you up to the first platform. If you get 5 wins, that'll unlock the next one, which takes you to the next platform. You get 7 wins, it takes you to the top platform. If you get flawless, that then gives you access to the void tower where you drop down into the big water pit thing with the holes.
This bothers me anyway because I'm not going to get 3 wins in trials. It's never going to happen.
The first time we tried trials,
I just stopped. I just put my pad down.
Oh no! I'm talking about in D2.
So in D2. Okay.
I think it was the first weekend it was on. There was a bunch of us, let's say the lesser PvPers of our clan. We got some pretty hardcore top tier guys who, they do flawless runs and stuff. A bunch of us lame-os got together. Thought, yeah, we'll have a crack at trials. We'll have a laugh. The very first game was against a team of 3 people, which we won. So that was a good start. It was like, cool, first game. Like,
good job.
They're 1 person down. Awesome. It went very badly after that.
That's exactly what happened. That's literally exactly what happened. It wasn't 4v3. It was 4v4, but we just wiped the floor with this first team. And we're like, oh, okay, well, maybe it's not too bad.
Fun.
And then you come across a team that's like they're all running hand cannons and midas, and you're like, okay, like there's one guy in front of you like sniping you out, and you're like, where's the rest of their? They're to my left. You've been shot 3 times in the head by 3 different guns, and you're dead. It's like we just got absolutely destroyed
for 5 rounds in a row.
But see, now in Destiny 1, even for getting 3 losses, they gave you they were like, oh, here's a little.
Oh yeah, of course.
Here's a reward. Like here's a reward.
You would get Crucible, yeah.
No, not in this. Fuck off.
You get Crucible tokens, don't you?
Well, the thing is, you don't get your powerful gear. Like you don't get your Luminous Engram unless you complete the 7 wins of trials, which I find that unfair.
And of course, once you get 3 losses, it resets the card.
Yeah. What you're doing there is you're limiting someone's progression based on their skill in PvP, and I don't like that.
Mm.
It feels kind of shitty. But hey ho, that's just my opinion, and that's all I have to say on that.
Cool. Well, we've spoken about 2 games and filled just about an hour.
Yeah. I suppose our features are Destiny and Origin. Assassin's Creed Origin.
I mean, well, just while we're talking about Destiny, they officially announced the first expansion.
Yep. Something of Osiris. I can't remember what
Curse of Osiris.
Curse of Osiris, that's it.
Put out a nice little trailer. Osiris looks like
a good trailer.
Osiris looks like a badass.
He does. He looks like a pimp.
He looks ridiculous.
He's like a player.
I'm going to be interested to see what changes there are. Apparently, the endless forest that keeps getting mentioned is the new patrol zone. People were expecting a patrol zone and the endless forest, but apparently...
Is this on Saturn?
Mercury?
Mercury, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all about time-travelling Vex, apparently. So, much fun to be
interesting.
Had. Yeah, it'd be interesting.
I suppose we're due a Vex raid. We're due a Fallen raid. Well, there wasn't a Fallen raid in the last one, was there? Oh, was it?
Rise of Iron.
Oh.
Wrath of the Machine.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good raid.
We didn't play that game.
It was fun.
It doesn't count.
I'm not sure we're getting a raid with a DLC.
Yeah, that's fine. No, that's not fine. I'm not okay with that.
But I mean, last time that
I don't
happened,
have to kill Callus like 9 times.
Well, I mean, last time we got a raid in the first expansion, it was Crota, which was a bit... I mean, it wasn't that bad, I guess.
Crota wasn't that bad.
It was quite short.
It was short. That's the problem. It was short.
Yeah. So there's an expansion as well. I think, is it 5th of December? They put a date on it. It's December anyway.
Yeah,
so we got
it's super soon. Yeah, which is good.
Got the season pass.
If they keep pumping out mini expansion, like mini bits of release like this, but regularly, then I'm okay with that.
I mean, you say that, but it's following the release schedule of D1. It's going September, December
for console, not for PC. PC.
Well, okay, you're 6 weeks out of launch, but you're getting the expansion at the same time. So the release cycle is going to be the same. So I would expect the second expansion in, what is it, April, March time.
Yeah.
And then the year anniversary thing in September. So it looks like they're following the same pattern. But whether we'll get other little bits and bobs in between, I mean, they skipped Halloween, I think primarily because it was the same week as PC launch, so that's probably fair enough.
Yeah, fair.
Be interesting to see if they do anything over Christmas. Maybe Sparrow Racing will come back. Who knows?
I'm okay with that. I like Sparrow Racing. Sparrow Racing was fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
I was good at it, you were bad at it.
I wasn't bad at it.
You were pretty bad at it.
You were.
I was great at it. I used to have first all the time.
That's not true. Let's talk about some other things really quickly. Christ, I haven't even talked about the Xbox One X,
Yeah.
which I got this week.
You did get this week.
And that's what I've been playing Assassin's Creed on, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, so Az got this as well. And
Yes.
he installed Halo 5 and he was just like, it's just a different game. It's just a completely different game. It's amazing.
So I played like half of Assassin's Creed on my old Xbox.
Do you have a 4K PC? A 4K TV?
Yes.
Nice. So you're playing in 4K?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's why like the later stages of Assassin's Creed, the environments, it was just like, this is so cool.
So this is great, and I appreciate all of this goodness. However, how big is the game? I'll tell you how big it is. It's like 30 gig.
It's more than that.
It's huge. It's
That's
enormous.
standard for console games.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Don't lie.
I'm not lying at all.
You are. You're fully lying.
When they announced the size of Destiny 2, I was like, that seems small, I'm concerned.
No, you're a liar.
I'm not lying.
Console games aren't that big. At least they weren't. In 4K, they're huge.
In 4K, they're like 100 gig. There was a patch for Quantum Break that was 80 gig.
I remember. Okay. Well, I remember was Az sending me a picture of like this ridiculous ludicrous. Oh no, yeah, no, you're right. It's like 100 gig because he has a 631 gig hard drive, and I'm like, cool, you can play 6 games.
Yeah. No, standard console games, like Witcher's like massive.
Yeah,
Witcher's
okay.
like 40.
Ignore me.
40.
That makes sense. Can you imagine The Witcher in 4K?
They're doing a patch.
Are they really?
Yeah. Which is why I haven't played it since when they announced the release date of the Scorpio, because I was like, I'm going to hold off finishing The Witcher 3.
Sounds
Squeaky chair.
squeaky chair.
I'm going to hold off finishing Witcher 3 until I get my
4K version.
yeah, so I can really enjoy it.
Can really
Get into it.
enjoy it.
Speaking of Witcher 3,
Yeah.
in Poland they're doing Witcher 3 musical stage play.
Now this sounds ridiculous.
It does.
It's supposedly going to be fucking.
There was a
amazing.
little trailer that was posted on YouTube.
It looked great.
It does. There's like proper like production value.
Yeah.
The stage is enormous.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
It's a huge cast. Yeah, it looks. I want to see it.
Yeah, I would. I hope this comes to London.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Like legit, I would pay to see this. This would be great.
Yeah, a Witcher musical. Who'd have thought it?
Yeah. While on the topic of musicals, completely off topic of games, sorry. But did you see that they released more tickets for Hamilton?
I didn't. No. My tickets got shuffled because they cancelled the first 2 weeks, and I got really annoyed. Well, so my tickets. So I had tickets in the first 2 weeks. They then get shuffled. They were like, fill in this form, tell us which dates you'd like to go, and then we'll reallocate you some seats. And I feel like I've ended up with way worse seats than I picked. I had front row on the Circle when I booked them. When I booked them, I had front row on the Circle. Where am I now? Back of the stalls.
Like right at the back, like under the shelf.
I'm not sure how far back, but I'm in the stalls. I went from front row of the Circle.
I complain. Anyway.
I'm not happy about it.
Anyway,
I still get to see Hamilton, but I'm not happy about it.
Lafayette. I'm so pumped to see this. I see it. Anyway, what else are we going to talk about really quickly, because we're an hour and 4 minutes in now.
Okay, PUBG on Xbox got a release date of 12th of December.
Oh, good.
So that's not far away.
So it's no longer in beta.
Well, no,
/demo.
it's going to be early access.
It was going to be early access before Xbox.
Yeah.
Of course it is. The guy's never going to finish the game because he doesn't need to. He's just like sleeping on a bed of money. He's like
Brendan Green.
He's like that big fat guy in in Breaking Bad who just like lays down on the bed of money and is just like, I could die here. He's never going to completely go to bed.
No. Something else I'm just going to check on there really quickly. The South Park mobile game. I'm not sure when it came out, but I noticed it was available today. So it might have come out before today, but it is now available. You can go and download it. It's called South Park Phone Destroyer.
What does it do?
It's card based. It's a weird hybrid of different things.
I don't like it already.
It kind of plays a bit like Clash Royale, but there's no towers.
No.
It's kind of it's like 2D side on. You chuck the cards out and your little posse of people attack the other posse.
No.
It's quite good fun, and it's very, very South Park so far. It's very funny. You keep getting text messages, and Cartman phones you, so it comes up like the phone screen on your phone, and you have to accept his phone call, and he FaceTimes you. It's great.
Okay, yeah, I approve.
You should download it just for that.
I might just for that.
When I got the screen, it comes up, it says Cartman is calling you.
I need to finish the Fractured Butthole.
You do need to finish
I
it.
do. I'm like halfway through.
I saw the ending on a stream, so I won't spoil it for you.
Don't spoil anything from you, Dad.
I think we probably should crack on with my... God, we haven't talked about BlizzCon either. God, we're so rubbish.
Let's talk about BlizzCon next week, because then I can actually look at what happened. and
we're so rubbish.
And get an opinion. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been losing my life to Destiny and RuneScape.
World of Warcraft Classic.
No. So, okay. No,
we'll talk about it next week.
Okay, because I have opinions on this that we need to talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next week. So next week you can look forward to
late
all of the late BlizzCon stuff. I'm going to specifically talk about the new Overwatch champion and World of Warcraft. So
I'll talk about everything else.
Hearthstone. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to talk about Hearthstone because that's boring already.
Well,
it's fucking boring already.
It doesn't even come out.
I know, it is already boring me. I don't care. Hit me with a fact, Ed. Do I need to click the link?
Yeah, go on, click
What if I don't click the link? Then he can't read the fact.
I kind of remember what it is, just if I can click it. So this is my special BlizzCon fact, which was not...
BlizzCon fact.
It's a Blizzard fact. It's for the first Diablo game.
Did you know that?
Did you know gaming? So my fact of the week this week is in the original Diablo game, when sorry, I'm just reading. What? This doesn't make... In the final level, when you face Diablo in the original Diablo game, he says something in a bizarre language that's incomprehensible. Apparently, if you take this incomprehensible message that he speaks to you with his demon face and play it backwards, in the good time-honored tradition of playing demonic things backwards, what it actually says, in a very English voice, is eat your vegetables and brush after every meal.
Thanks, Diablo.
And then he gives you a big thumbs up. So yeah, that's my fact of the week.
Subpar fact, I'm not going to lie.
Really? You didn't know that one? I thought it was a good one.
It's alright. Not the best. Thank you for tuning in, everyone, to this ramble. It's just a ramble this week. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I think it was required.
I mean, I did go off on one about Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I went off on one at the end, but
I think it probably didn't help that because we skipped last week. I had a lot more to talk about because I finished the campaign.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
We won't skip next week. In fact, we'll stop skipping, or will we? Maybe, who knows? I mean, I could be mid-game. I don't know. Something could happen. Some miraculous game can be discovered, and I'll just leave my life to it. So,
RuneScape 2.
No.
Old school RuneScape 2. That doesn't make any sense.
Shut up.
Right, I think that's a good time to...
Yes, thank you for watching us talk about bollocks for the last hour and 9 minutes. Oh, we've been guys playing games. Wait, no. I've been Perry.
I've been not Perry.
Not Perry. He's been the other one. And we've been guys playing games. Tune in next week for more of this nonsense.
Thanks
you. And bye.
Goodbye.